Hey guys, welcome back to Karting with Chris. Today's video we are doing the Dallas Karting Complex Rental League Race Final. Now if you did not see my last video where I did the pre-final race, we are doing a last to first challenge. So basically this last to first challenge is you start dead last in the pre-final and you work your way up and hopefully end up in first by the final. If not, I'm planning on getting a top 5. Now, if you did see my pre-final race, you saw I finished in 4th place, but for this final race, I am starting in 3rd because the guy who finished in 1st in the pre-final did not like the cart he was given, and so he elected to start in the back, which is totally legal, and so that moves us up into 3rd place. So going into this race, you see me tapping on the steering wheel here. I actually had a Christmas song stuck in my head. But I'm actually very relaxed because first place is directly in front of us, so we don't have to pass too many people to get up into first. And if we just play our cards right, we should be able to come home with this last to first challenge with a victory. So we're all girded up here, we're getting in formation, we're starting on the inside, which is really helpful. Hopefully we can jump up into 2nd at the start. It's not guaranteed, but that's going to be the plan. So flagman waves green, we're good to go. We're going to push number 9, we're not going to go for the move right away. And it was at this point that I'd realized I had an absolutely horrible cart. So you see me raise my hand here in frustration because I immediately dropped 2 positions at the beginning. I knew right away that this cart was not good as soon as they dropped that green flag. But it's too late to switch carts. We're going side by side with this guy right here. We're not backing off, even though we do have a bad cart, we're still going to try our best. Going into this right-hander right here, we get hit, and I wasn't too happy about that. We're still going side by side with this other guy. I kind of just shoo him away. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm trying to race here. And then going down the straight here, you're going to see just how bad my straight line speed is. So going down the straight here, we've got someone directly behind us. They're going to pull along beside us. That's Jackson. We'll talk more about him later. But that's 1, 2, 3 people passing me on the straight alone. And this is not good news for me, especially since I'm trying to do a last to first challenge here, because we've dropped 5 positions within the first 2 laps. Through the corners, I can tell obviously I'm able to keep up with them, but you saw on the straights, it was an absolute nightmare. So sadly, I do not have a backwards camera for this race. I really need to figure out how to get one. But I don't have a backwards camera, but if I did, it would show there is a long queue of people behind me. I'm looking behind me. I can see there's a lot of people behind me. So going into turn 1 here, I didn't feel like anyone was going to go for a move, so I didn't think too much of it. And then going into turn 1, I get slammed into. And let me tell you, that hurt like hell. The GoPro doesn't really show how severe the impact was, but man, that one hurt like heck. I wasn't wearing a rib protector on this day either because I forgot it. So yeah, that hurt like hell. So this is telling me that people are going to dive bomb me because they clearly know I'm slow down the straights. But they don't care how far they are going into turn 1. They're going to try and dive bomb me. So I look behind me. I can see that they are battling behind me. So there's not going to be any moves going into turn 1 up here. That's a good thing about me being slow, I guess. It kind of bunches up the people behind me, and so they start racing each other and I can kind of pull away. But once I got to the straight, you can tell just I have no speed whatsoever. So I'm going to apologize in advance if this race is going to come off of me complaining a lot, because obviously this cart is not the best, but I'm going to try and do the best I can. Obviously, I know I'm going to drop down the order, but it's up to me to determine how far I drop down the order. So going down here, you're going to see how easily people can pass me. I just wave them by. There's no point in going defensive. Wave hi to my friend Dylan there. He's in cart number 11. You can see just how many people pass me down the straight. Even if I did go defensive, they would be past me by the time I get into the braking zone, so there's no point in going defensive. But through the corners, you can clearly see I'm able to catch up to them. So this is what I'm going to try and do, keep up to them through the corners, and hopefully I can salvage something from this race. So the best realistic way for me to, gain some positions if someone pushes me down the straight. But the odds of that happening are very slim. And then here you can just see, it's like they have 20 more horsepower than me. It's crazy. I'm not going to quit, obviously. As we can see, 21 going off the track there. I think he might have outbraked himself. So we do gain a position right there. We're up into 12th now. But I'm not going to quit. My parents did not raise a quitter. We're just going to deal with what we got and try and do our best. Now, you're probably wondering, Chris, why didn't you just switch karts before you went out on track? I didn't actually know that this kart was this awful. You know, I don't keep a log of how bad each kart is. Obviously, now I know. This is kart 15, by the way, if I hadn't said that. But yeah, clearly frustrated here that people are just passing me so easily. If I had known that this kart was this bad, I obviously would have switched it out with a different kart and start in the back like the pole sitter did. But like I said, I didn't know. We're going to try and do the best we can. 21 here, clearly not that good through the corners. I mean, I'm not trying to call you out or anything, but I give him a little bump here. And he should be way faster than me. Everyone should be way faster than me. So 21 is kind of all over the place. We're going to try and stick with him. Maybe try and get in front of him, but you know, that's not going to happen going down the straights here. Again, just pointing people by, you know, kind of frustrated, but you know, I'm trying to do the best I can. So for this race, I was setting high 39s as my fastest lap time. I think average was a low 40. And for comparison, in the pre-final, my average was a high 38. So that is a second difference in time. And you can see through the corners, I'm able to keep up with people. So I'm not losing time through the corners. The kart handles well through the corners. Obviously, it's going to handle well when you're going slow. But most of this time is down the straight. So I'm losing about a second, maybe a little less than a second, just purely down the straight. So if you are brand new to racing, a second per lap that you are losing to other people is a lot of time. A couple tenths per lap is a lot, but a second alone is just awful. And the fact that it's just mainly down the straights and that's where you can pass people the most is really frustrating. But you know, like I said, I'm going to try not to complain too much. But I will say, I didn't say this in my pre-final race, but I did bring Colton and Colin out here to have some fun. This was their first time here. If you don't know who they are, they were part of my endurance race team. But here comes Colton. He drives on by, give him a little wave. Hello, Colton. I point someone else by, and then going into turn one, Colin's going to dive bomb me. You know, I kind of saw it coming, so I gave him room. Colin's a very good driver. I'm going to try and hold it side by side through this quick right left-hander here. He knows how to go side by side. He gets by me pretty quickly. And then now we're going side by side with Chance here. Chance is also a really good driver. And him and Jackson are within a shot of a championship. I was talking about Jackson earlier on in this race. But I told Jackson I'd try and hold up Chance. So Jackson, if you're watching, that's the best I could do. Sorry, I couldn't give you more than that, but we're going down the straight here. We're just getting passed by everyone. We're down into 20th now, and we've just reached halfway through the race. So the only realistic way at this point to try and keep up with these guys, if they battle so hard that they just wipe each other out. And, you know, in these rental races, that actually is a possibility. It's not a very high possibility, but it can happen, and I've seen it happen before. So I'm just praying that these guys just wipe each other out. Right now, it's looking like they're keeping it pretty clean, which is sad for me. So we're going into turn one here, and I look behind me. I can tell there's someone coming, and this is going to be the dive bomb of the year. He goes for the move, absolutely wrecks himself. And you know, you gotta wake up pretty early to fool old Karting with Chris with that move. So we're able to hold 20th. You know, it's not the best position in the world, but anything to not keep falling down the order. But up ahead, we can see that there is plenty of fighting going on. They're going side by side. Everyone's having a free-for-all up there, which is very good for us. Behind us, we've got the same guy going for take two on the dive bomb. Let's see what he can do. I point him by, say, go for it. And he passes me before we get into the braking zone. So you know, we don't get a second dive bomb. He learned his lesson. Good job for him. But you can see we've clearly caught up to the people in front, so them battling really hard is good news for me. Like I said before, this is going to be really the only way we're going to be able to keep up and pass people. They're not wrecking each other off track, which is sad for me, but, you know, we're still a couple cart lengths behind. So if you've got a crappy cart just as bad as this one, as I look behind me, just double checking no one's gonna dive bomb me going into turn 1, but if you have a horrendous cart as this one, you just got to make do with what you got. So a turn like this, turn 1, it's a heavy braking zone, and you just got to brake much later because you're not going as fast going into that braking zone. You just got to really make do with what you've got. Going through this right-hander up here, you can see some people are braking. I was close to full throttle. I don't think I was exactly full throttle, but I was close to full throttle. So through the corners, that's how I'm able to keep up. I'm adapting my line. But down the straight, obviously there's nothing I can do unless I've got spare nitrous oxide in my pocket, but you know, I left that in my other pants. So going down into turn 1 here, we're going to get past. We're going to go down into 22nd here. And number 25 was the last person to pass me in this race. So this is kind of where the race ends for me. Obviously I've got 5 or 6 more laps, but nothing really happens in between now and then. I think someone had a mechanical because I ended up finishing in 21st, but that's really the end of the race for me. Obviously, I kept going. I didn't quit, and if you are ever in a circumstance like this, you do feel vulnerable. You feel like a sitting duck, but just don't quit. Keep going, because seat time is seat time, and just try and have fun. So we're going to skip ahead to the end of the race. Like I said, we finished in 21st, and this last to first challenge has been a complete failure. We started in 20th, made our way up into 4th, started the final in 3rd, and then dropped down all the way to 21st, and it was just an absolute failure. I do apologize that I couldn't give you guys a better race, but you can't plan for everything to go the way you want. But that's all I'm going to have for today. If you liked the video, please subscribe, and if you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, please comment below. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day.